What's happening, Dolphins fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, Chris Adams, El Capitan. Guys, this is usually I would break down the game. We'd go quarter by quarter, do a little bit. We do some, what the coaches and the players said post game, stuff like that. Maybe look a little bit towards the opponent, but really today is a little bit of an audible because we got our asses spanked so bad by freaking Tennessee that it has put the fan base at each other's throats. The line in the sand on Tua or anyone else is never been better drawn at this point. And if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, get in the comments, guys. Get your questions in. I might post a link in here for people to jump on. Let's talk about this because the state of this franchise is in a limbo, to say the least. It's pretty ugly. I got my boys with me. I'm going to bring them in. Let's see. Let's take them both off the mic. There. Boom. What's up, guys? Mike, Brandon. I gave the introduction. As you guys heard, it's ugly. It's not fun. And let's see what you guys feel, because I know how both you guys kind of think about Tua, and especially you, Brandon, on how you believed or what you believed about him long before we drafted him. And we're not going to hold back, guys, because honestly, and I said this on Go Time Dolphins, and Kadeem said he might stop in. And if not, Kadeem, no worries, dog. I know you're a busy dude and you're 7 hours behind us, but I'll tell you what, man, I wanted to see Tua take that step and be the Aaron Rodgers type of guy, the Dan Marino type of guy, where he was going to rise above. And even if they're the coaches handcuffing him, and we'll talk about the coordinators and how, their bad plans and not lack thereof run game, but just to take it to the next level, to be the man. And not only did he not take it to the next level, he lost us that game, and early on. And just real quick, guys, I was on TD Fins Talk last night with DDWEM, and there was a couple of us on there, and we were talking about the state of the team, and we looked at a little bit of Tua's film, and it was ugly, guys. And we're going to pull it up here a little bit later on. Mike's got it all set up, courtesy of Josh Houts out on Twitter. Thanks, Josh, for all the great work you do, bud, man. It's really awesome. But guys, Brandon, we'll start with you, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, I want to say first and foremost, we're into January now, and we still had relevant games, which is incredible when you think about us sitting at 1-7. Now,
That's
should
true.
we have ever been at that 1-7 point? Probably not. And now you're starting to see, this is the NFL, man. You can't take anything for granted. Every game counts, every moment, every snap. And when we have an offense that's as limited as we are, you start to see that you can't have mistakes because you're not able to just overcome. That was the one thing. When you're really dynamic, like Lamar Jackson in the past, or, you got an Aaron Rodgers, you got somebody that can make a difference, make a couple plays. They can change the whole game, which in turn changes your whole season. And honestly, this team just really lacks it. Outside of Waddle, which has been very solid this year, especially
I don't know.
being a rookie.
Phillips had some flashing moments there too.
I'm talking about on offense.
Okay.
On offense, I'm talking about the offense strictly right now. The
All right.
defense, was a little upsetting early on, but they turned it around. They, for the most part, started playing like the defense we were expecting. But as far as Tua goes, man, it's. I don't want to be like the "I told you so" guy, because I've said it from well before he even was draft eligible, when he was still at Bama. I always said, "Oh man, everybody's praising him," and I said, "Man, I hope the Dolphins don't screw up and take him. God, I hope we don't get him." And then sure enough, we got into the 5th slot in the draft, and he might fall to us because of the injury. I'm like, look, that's worst case scenario, injury or not. I never believed he would be able to work on this level. Maybe he can. Maybe it'll take some years. But this is kind of a plan that was laid out that we We blew up the team. We got all the money, all the draft picks. And when you do that, you've got all your guys on cheap contracts. You've got, guys that are all growing together in a core. Your window becomes relatively small. You can't wait till season 7, 8, or 9 of a quarterback to finally get his footing. It's not the right idea, I think, for the franchise. And like I said, man, I mean, Tua's probably going to be in this league 12 years, 10, 12 years. I mean, there's guys that are way worse, but, I just think that, like I said, I don't know what we're going to do with the offseason for him. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't have a lot of faith in them making the right choices because we've made quite a few over the years that were wrong. But when I say we need to move on, I don't say we need to move on for just anybody. Now, if we're not doing a noticeable upgrade, I don't want to change out one set of problems for another and still be, turning the wheel. I don't think Tua's the worst quarterback in this league by far. I just think that in order to make the runs into the playoffs year after year, it's the same quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It is. It's the same guys.
Well, we know there's those same quarterbacks that are definitely going to be there, and then it's who's those bottom 3 or 4 on the NFC and AFC that churns. But we know Rodgers is going to be there. We know Brady's going to be there.
Mahomes is there.
Mahomes is there. And in recent memory, Brandon, it's been Tannehill that's been there.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yes, but he's a little bit the exception. He's a little bit the exception to the rule because, I mean, Tannehill's doing exactly what us Dolphins fans, well, not all of us, but majority of us have said for a while that if you surround him with the defense, with an O-line, with competent pieces around him, he can do what? I mean, what was his numbers? I think 13 for 18 in this game.
No, it was 18 of 20, 2 touchdowns, 180 yards.
I don't even think he had that.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about for Tannehill.
Oh, for Tannehill. I thought you were talking about
for Tannehill.
For Tannehill.
That's what I'm saying.
It was.
Did Tannehill just absolutely slaughter us? No. Not
What's up, Cap? What's happening, brother?
Can you hear us?
Cap, can you hear us, buddy?
Well, we'll get Cap on here in a second.
Yeah. But like I said, as far as the Tua thing goes, man, I've felt the same way. Now, does he show some games where you're like, okay, it's the whole thing is even when he was doing well, you're like, okay, he's not completely, he didn't ruin the game. He didn't give it away. And that's his good. That's his good. That's the problem. You don't want a quarterback where you're like, man, if he just doesn't screw it up, we can win some games. Like, no. I want a guy that goes out and just 2 minutes left. I mean, how many times has he had to have a 2-minute warning going into either halftime or the end of the game where you felt confident, like, all right, let's get some points, at least get a field goal.
It's not like we're sitting here, feeling good that if the game comes down to Tua needing to throw us into a victory, no one felt confident about that. And we had
a lot of hope. And I know people say the weapons and stuff like that.
Weapons? What are you talking about? Waddle's a great weapon. I've seen Devontae Parker be a good weapon. I've seen Gesicki, a potential, Pro Bowler potential weapon. I don't know, man.
I don't want to hear the weapons either.
I don't want to hear weapon talk. I don't like that, And I get it, the O-line and the O-line this, O-line that. But I see, first of all, young quarterbacks are supposed to be mobile quarterbacks, and not that Tua's an immobile quarterback. And we cut him a lot of slack.
I don't want him
I don't want him getting hit, and I don't want him running. But that's kind of when you get a rookie quarterback, they have to run around to make some leg happen. You know what I'm saying? And
until the game slows down.
Listen, on TD Fin's talk last night, he said, listen, how many times could Tua run last night that he didn't? On every rollout that he didn't hit because he was throwing, that was the worst part, guys. It was the ugliest passes all first half. And other than that one big bomb to Waddle, which I think it was like at 55 yards, and that's a great bomb. But I mean, dude, it's not worth
even if you go back to the Saints game, that moonshot he threw to Matt Collin, it was a duck. It was a duck in the air. There's just not I don't know if maybe the hip injury might have
Well,
messed up some of the mechanics.
That's what Dudley do wrong, and everyone else said on TD Finstock that they literally were going, listen, and TD says it's the hip. He's never gonna be the same because if you look at it, it's all arm, it's all push, and that in that wet with the wind, you really saw how the hip couldn't give you that force to follow through.
But then he had that one throw to walk. But then he had that one throw to walk.
Yeah, but you saw, if you watch that, and we did watch it in the film, and we're going to get on some of that film later. If you watch, he takes a perfect 3-step drop and does perfect 1-2 step and hurls it like we've seen him do. Cap, let us know what you think, brother.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Sorry about my phone, man. My phone has been through the hells and back wars, man. So it's kind of hard to,
no problem,
get rid of this thing. But it does its job when it's needed the most. And right now, you're doing your job when it's needed the most right now, man. And we need this outlet to vent because 24 hours isn't good enough, in my opinion. 48 hours isn't good enough, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. At this point right now, we need to have a set consensus between all the communities. And that's why I say it's so imperative to embrace these moments right now with the responsibility you have with your platform, man, because we got to hear if it's one-sided or not. We got to hear what people's input are when it comes to our team, man. We just can't have a half-ass say with the front office that really thinks that they're doing the right thing when in reality they're not. We need to finally call a spade a spade. That's it.
And that's how I am. And I even asked Chris, before coming on. I mean, I know it's all Dolphin fans. Some of them get in their feelings when you try to point it out. I mean, that's why Omar's hated so much. I mean, he calls a spade, but a lot of the times, more times than not, it bears out the truth. And people don't like hearing the truth.
No, they don't. We want to live on hope and prayers. And when people crush them.
Look, can I be honest on my stuff? Because when me and you talk on the phone, just I tell you how it is, man. And even as a Dolphins fan, you can't be blind at it, man. Because the results have bared out year after year. We're talking about, how many times it hurts every time we get to week 14, 15, 16. We're talking about being eliminated, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not okay with it, man. I'm sick of it. Mediocrity, especially when the biggest ask a fan base could be asked without saying it aloud, Miami Dolphins, is we're going to blow up the franchise. We're going to try and get it. We're going to try and get it to 0 to hopefully have something to build on a new foundation, one that hasn't been so riddled in mediocrity. And yet here we are, find ourselves round and round we go.
Well, I wanted to ask real quick. All three of us here, what do we think overall the big scheme problem is here? Is it coaching? Is it GM? Is it ownership?
What do you think, Cap?
Yeah, give us your feel on it. Because I've got mine. I'm sure everybody's got a feel on it.
Cap's having a little bit of phone trouble. Cap's having a little bit of trouble.
Like I said, what do you think, Mike? What do you think is the –
Who are you pointing the finger of blame right now at these Dolphins?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's the offensive coordinator's fault and then the faith that everybody had in Tua. But overall, I was looking at the stats. Tua's 20th in the league in yards per attempt at 7. Joe Burrow's near the top at 8.9. And I'd be eager to go see what his yards per attempt were at Alabama. I'll look it up here in a little bit. But I think the biggest issue right now is the play calling. I watched a couple breakdowns where on 3rd and 10, we had 4 or 5 guys running 6-yard routes and not even.
Yeah, but Mike, not to cut you off, buddy, and we'll get to you here in a sec, Gio. But Mike, early in that game, those were good plays. Tua missed every target. He missed those targets.
Okay,
why do you stop calling it? Because he's not hitting open guys.
I don't get me wrong. Why. I'm not sitting here trying to defend Tua.
I know you're not, brother. But I'm saying there's no defense of because look, and I'll get to you here after this statement, Gio. We all wanted the same thing all week leading up to this game. We wanted to see Tua rise above and become the man and literally win, get 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. And okay, we tempered that hope when we seen the weather, seen, all this stuff. But it's almost like they did that. They said, we're going to come out slinging the rock. And Tua just failed over and over and over again. Gio, what do you got, buddy?
Man, that's exactly right. You got to call it for what it is. There was a lot of missed throws. A lot of issues everywhere, man. Defense, definitely did not travel. There was a lot of issues everywhere, a lot of holes. Offensive play calling was all over the place, inconsistent. At first, it was a good script. Went away from that script. A lot of missed open throws. Weather related, all that good stuff. But at the same time, Tannehill played in the same weather, and he had a couple throws that went in. They were good. Now, at the same time, we gotta be honest here, man. The Dolphins took away our own run game.
Oh, yeah. What do we have? 14 run attempts, I think?
We stopped running the ball. It was working.
We didn't start running the ball.
Yeah,
in the beginning, all they did was throw, and it was miss. Well, actually, that's not true. First couple plays, they did all right.
Yeah. I was gonna say the first run of the game, Duke got like 10, 12 yards.
I know. And not only that, they gave him the ball like 2 times in a row. And not 2 times in a row, but 2 attempts that they gave him the ball in a drive, 9 yards per carry. And then that's it.
Yeah. Like I said,
you put Duke in the shelf, a lot of drop balls.
Why? I mean, is he even going to stay on this team? Or that how they feel about running backs? Why aren't we running him with everything he's got?
Can I ask you guys a question? Why did we not see a hurry up offense
at all?
Oh, gosh, my dad has been saying that for 2 years now. That Tua is
why is it that this team is the only team in the NFL that if we're behind, we do huddle instead of going no huddle. We're there just killing clock, bro. Like if we're leading.
Yeah. It's ugly, man.
It's frustrating.
What's up, Ennis? I see you in here, dog. Hey, man, I got those hats for you, Ennis. Told you I'd have them. You let me know which one of these 2 you want, and I'll send them to you, brother.
Ooh, I want that teal one.
I didn't last time I checked.
Hey, Ennis!
The one in your right hand.
Man, you been ghost, man. Why you been ghost, Ennis?
The one in your right hand.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. I got the teal. I got the teal.
You want the teal?
Yeah.
Got you, Gio. I got you, teal. I got you, bro.
I can go because I'm tired of arguing about the same thing, man, over and over. Let me just say this, and then I'm gonna say, listen.
Okay.
When I found out, I listened to the interview yesterday, but I stopped at the Mike Gesicki because I checked out when Jacoby came in and threw that pass to Waddle. If he doesn't get that flag on that hit, do you know where they would have got the ball at?
Yeah,
so that was one. One. Let me finish. And this other point, when I heard Mike Gesicki reason on Larry Show say that he said they didn't have a game plan to deal with the weather. And then I went and looked at the stats from the overall game. Like, bro, we was even as far as yardage, except the rushing. We had 70 something. They had 190, 190 something. They ran 49 times the time of possession. They had it more because of the running game. But I know Cap and Gio like Duke. And I was like, Duke getting 7 yards in the first half. What are we doing? Like, when he fumbled, I was mad, and I'm mad he had a bad game. But, bro, nobody showed up, and the coaching didn't show up when you say you don't have a game plan for the weather. How do you not prepare for this weather?
We all knew the weather. I talked about it on the betting show.
Hey,
how do you not do that?
At this point? You really believe Mike Gesicki at this point?
I did. Why would he lie?
Why would he lie on camera when they asked him?
Why would he lie, bro? There's no reason.
He gained out of lying.
He gains nothing from lying, bro. He gains nothing from lying.
So then, do you believe that the scuffle after the game in the locker room
was just getting ready to get to that,
Cap. The fact that Flores called everybody out and did his job as a coach?
I think the players got mad because they wasn't calling what they've been calling the past couple of weeks. We didn't see Waddle running around. We didn't see Waddle running in motion behind the line. We didn't see Waddle lined up. next to Tua. We see none of that from the New Orleans
That's
game.
for the quarterback control of the game. That's if you want to become an elite quarterback, you take control of your team, and he fought it.
But Cat, hold on. I know what you're gonna say, Chris, but Cat, we got a veteran across the field. They only let him throw 19 times. Why? Because of the weather, Cap. It doesn't matter the talent.
18.
He threw 19 times. He's a veteran.
He threw 18 times.
They ran 40 times, Cap.
How many times do we label guys that are in the league more than 2 years as a veteran, which I don't like at all. But at this point,
it doesn't matter. They still ran it 40 times, bro. That's
guys,
telling you.
look, listen. At the end of the day, Ennis is right. Look, by the time the third quarter came, Tua had thrown it 29 times already.
Yeah,
man, this is a rainy Christmas
There was no
day.
balance in this game plan. There was no
But Cap, you can't throw in that element. There's a reason why Tannehill only threw it 18 times throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not talking about Derrick Henry they had back there.
So, no, it's not.
Like,
even though Foreman looked like him, I'll tell you what.
They game plan to the conditions.
And you know what the second half adjustments was for the offense on offense? You know what it was? Stop running the ball.
Throw it more. Like it's a sunny day in Florida.
The defense was holding on until the fourth quarter, bro. The defense was gassed by the fourth quarter.
But that's all I'm putting out running the ball. If they run the ball, the defense wouldn't be gassed.
Exactly. 100%.
You seen Duke running the ball. You seen him getting tough yards. So how is that you put it on the quarterback that's struggling and expect him to succeed when you see the running back getting yards?
So I want to ask all three of you a question.
I'm not arguing that.
Go ahead, Mike.
I know you're not. I'm just saying. But we can't say Tua failed when they set him up to fit. Not like on purpose, but if you throw it 39 times in a slippery ball, like, bro, you're not going to succeed. Nobody is. That's why Tannehill didn't do it. They didn't trust him to do it.
I'm gonna take a page from your book. Both teams had to play in the same elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right,
but one team played with the elements in mind.
That's the Ennis's point. Ennis's point in saying they only let Tannehill throw it 18 times. Here's my
exactly. That's the thing.
I want to ask all three of you a question. When's the last time the Dolphins went into a game like this and didn't change everything up that had been working? That we are so used to them doing it. So does that lie on the coaches? Does that lie on the players?
You know what? I was talking.
Hang on. You just mentioned it. In that game, in the Saints game, they're moving Waddle all the way around. Even in those elements, you put Waddle in the backfield, hit him on a swing pass out of the back. Maybe Tua makes that throw. You hit him on a little quick in route coming out of the backfield. Linebackers got to cover him. Maybe Tua makes that throw. But those throws you could make in this element. Why on earth did the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators change up their entire game plan for the last
They attempted that pass to Waddle, and Waddle got hit for a loss. They read Waddle out the whole game.
Even if you don't use it, you still use him as a decoy. You don't even do the stuff that nothing. Like, that's the point. You ain't even using none of it as an option to try. You gave one try and then went away.
I think beyond just this game here, I think everybody here's, it's not just this one game that is the difference. We're talking about years and years. And my honest to God opinion, which I know is not, a well-liked one or well-believed one, but I think the true thing that is the problem with this franchise is Ross.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I think that, well, listen, and everybody's defense goes to, oh, but he cuts checks. You ask for any money and he'll put it in, he'll give you the money, which is 100% true. But let's think about what he is. He's a real estate guy. He's made all his money through that. Every dollar he's put in, it's because so he can get Formula One races. He can have his tennis. He can host the Super Bowls. He can bring in international soccer matches. Every dollar he's put into this franchise is not just pissed away. He knows he's going to get it back tenfold. None of it is wasted.
Oh, yeah.
And my issue is he stays up in New York. He has his true passion, which is building that monstrosity in Manhattan, which he's doing right now, which is fine. You can have what I get what you do is what you do. But as an ownership, there's guys that they're not – everybody says, well, he stays out of the way. He writes money, and he hires guys and lets them do their thing. That's not – listen, the true boss, the guy who writes the checks, the guys who are supposed to be in charge, which is your owner. I don't need a Jerry Jones, which actually he stepped back a little bit as years have went on. But you need somebody that is there and shows up, and everybody has to button up a little tighter, be a little more on their fucking P's and Q's when they're in the franchise and they're inside the building, and they know that, look, there's a guy here that is making our money, making our checks, and he's making the decisions. And Ross is not there. He's always gone. He's put in all that money, which is great. And it's not like we have third world, we're not talking about, got the worst facilities. We've got great, beautiful things he's put in there. But that's not what – if it was just strictly who has the best facilities, who has the best training room, it will win a Super Bowl. It's not that. It's the guys who are truly there. I think that Ross – and it's not – look, he's the one – nobody can vote him out. You can't – there's nothing you can do about it. And I get that. That's the frustrating part.
Well, how many times
once he's gone, his buddy's taking over the team right after that. So there's already ownership in place after he leaves. Yeah. And to your point, Brandon, let me say something about Omar Kelly.
Am I wrong?
Omar Kelly. No. You're dead on point. When I'm trying to say it with the point you made on Omar Kelly as well, I was very critical of that man for the past 2 years because I felt like he had a big hand in that Xavier Howard fiasco that was going on, and the situation with the owners and with the agents and the writers at that point in time was a little bit, suspect. But let me tell you something. Omar Kelly has pretty much nailed everything that's been going on in this organization this whole offseason, and pretty much knows what's going on with Flores to the point where he's putting his name out saying that he knows Flores isn't going anywhere, which is pretty much set in stone. So you got the owner coming back. You got the coach coming back. Mm-hmm. At this point in time, Tua didn't do himself any favors. Yeah, Tua didn't do himself any favors, guys. Let's just keep it real. Like, at the end of the day,
you know what?
Nobody's gonna talk about the defense screwing up this game this past off season. That's not gonna happen again.
No, you know what I like about men? That men at the end of the day have accountability. You know what?
Should be held accountable.
You know what I saw yesterday?
What's that? None.
I saw a lot of you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. A lot of bitching and nagging on the sidelines. Excuse my French.
No, you're right.
No, you're right.
And am I wrong here, guys? Mike Tomlin never does that shit. Bill Belichick never does that shit. Sean McVay never does that. John Harbaugh never does that. You never see. And you know what the funny part was? For the last 7 weeks, Brian Flores had a play sheet in his hand, visibly calling plays.
Yeah, but Gio, name those coaches again and name those quarterbacks.
Hold on. I want somebody to find me a clip of Brian Flores yesterday with a play sheet in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I think beyond just moving beyond just this game, it's the same issues we've been having year after year. Slightly now, the personnel changes, the quarterback has changed. Obviously, offensive coordinators have changed, all of that, but it's still the same problem. So
Gio, to your point, that first touchdown that Tennessee scored, the little dump off to the tight end that snuck out and I think it was either Jones or Baker got cut up in the wash, and he ended up being wide open for that touchdown. They showed the sideline. They showed Brian Flores getting on the defensive coordinators, and I think it was because, and I brought this up on yesterday's show, I'm wondering if Flores didn't start out the game calling the plays. And if he isn't starting out the game calling the plays, maybe he takes over when something turns one way or the other. But my problem with that is if you're obviously calling better plays for the defense than the other man, then why are you even letting him attempt to do it? This is the biggest game of your career. This is the biggest game of everybody. This is the biggest game of the Dolphins.
Exactly. How long has Brian Flores been coaching?
A head coach, 3 years.
Why in God's name is that man on the most important game of the season
not calling plays?
Taking a step back, letting Josh Boyer call plays?
Yeah.
It don't make sense. That's my point. Is every time for the last 20 years, the Dolphins come to a game like this, and all of a sudden, what's up, King Mill? Thanks for stopping in, Bubba. All of a sudden, they change it up. It happened with Tannehill. It's happened with Fiedler. It's been happening for forever. And I don't understand why you change what. Like Vince Lombardi used to run the same play 14 times in a row until you stopped it. So why on earth after you win 7 games are you stopping what you've been doing to win?
And you know what it's starting to feel like? It's starting to feel like a lot of BS and a lot of smoke and mirrors. Because why did the defense do that? Oh boy, you go ahead and call plays the Tennessee Titans on the road. In inclement weather. Go ahead, bro. I'll let you. And then if you fuck up, I'm going to yell at you in front of everybody. To show everybody, that it's your fault. Scapegoat number 1. Offensive coordinator. Did anybody see anybody yell at Charlie Fry or Godsey? Did anybody see that?
No, I didn't see that part, but I did notice that Tua was yelling at Parker at one point.
Yeah. Did anybody see the offensive coordinator? So that's scapegoat number 1, Josh Boyer. Scapegoat number 2, I'm gonna go yell at Tua because he's doing a terrible job. I'm gonna go yell at Tua. I wanna show the whole world I'm yelling at Tua. But at the same time, the offensive play calling doesn't fucking change.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was that
play call they're doing.
Go ahead,
Gio. I was
Gio.
going to say I don't know if we were underprepared or we just had the wrong preparation, but it seems like more times than not this season that's been the case. It started off like that. I don't know if, like I said, bad preparation or just the wrong one. I have no clue, but
we can watch the first drive of the game and watch the play call and just switch all of a sudden.
Bro,
Gio, go ahead.
It's like, and you know what was funny, guys? You know what was funny? The offensive play calling never had urgency. There was no huddle offense, hurry up offense, none of that. Throughout the whole game, once we were down 17-3. Never once, not even in the fourth quarter, bro. We're getting the ball, 8 minutes left, and we're there just chilling in the huddle calling plays. Like, bro, speed it up, move it up. Try to score in 2 minutes, get the ball back. You still got all your 3 timeouts. And you know what's even crazier? Twice they told Waddle to go deep. One with Tua, one with Jacoby Brissett. The one with Tua connects. The one with Jacoby Brissett, he could have caught that. It was catchable, but he kind of lost the ball at the air, whatever. Okay, boom. That's it. Never again did you ask anybody to go deep, especially Waddle, that obviously twice showed you he could blow the top off the top off on a defense.
Yeah, but Gio, you can't say run the ball, and we're begging to run the ball, and at the same time beg to throw the ball in those type of elements. I don't think that's the type of they shouldn't have put Waddle in that position in the first place. You got 3-4 tight ends that you're utilizing to block. You use them in the same situation that Tennessee used their tight ends. You didn't see no A.J. Brown, but maybe once or twice for a 20-yard pass, at least, at the best.
Yeah, Big Kev's in here. He's got.
That was a game plan to keep it simple. That was a real simple game plan. If all of us knew that the weather was going to be crappy.
Plan was for Tua not to throw it about 30-something, almost 40 times.
Listen, Tua's got a weaker NFL arm. He's got smaller hands.
Oh,
the preparation was that we prepared to play this game. And like I said, I talked about it on the betting show. What did we do that Thursday, I think? I can't even remember. I think Thursday. Yeah. And I brought up the weather. What did I say? I believe exactly what I said. It's going to start off wet, cold, windy.
The weather. And then now, it's okay that Tua. No, bro. We should have never thrown the ball that much.
I don't think the game plan would have been better if we ran 40-something times and threw 20. I don't think that was going to be the difference in this game. But the fact that, like I said, we showed some success with the run, enough that it could have been respectable. But the fact that, like we said, they just abandoned it altogether is a problem.
Well, and they didn't even
they have no faith in the run game. Not just this game, this one game. I'm talking about they've done it now for multiple years in the draft. They've told you, and we're talking about free agency. They try to get a washed-up guy.
Drafted high in the draft, Ronnie Brown, 2005.
Yep.
Yeah.
Organizational. That's an organization issue.
And that goes back to Russ. So my question is, how many times does he have to screw up hiring, whether it's the GM or signing off on the coach or signing off on a number 1 pick? How many, Brandon's point, how many more times does he screw up before we finally start pointing the finger at him?
Well, the beauty
Yeah, I
of
mean,
being an owner
at the
is
end
you
of the
don't
day,
catch the blame like a coach or a GM. You just don't.
even if Ross had fingerprints all over this, at the end of the day, coaches coach, players play. And what I saw yesterday was no smart coaching, no adjustments, and no proper execution.
I
You
saw
know,
Coaches coach and players play. You're 100% right. But who is the one that's in charge of picking the GM, picking coaches, picking the players? The one that it all starts at the very top. So what we've seen or what gets rolled out on Sundays
You're
is
right,
only what has been brought up over the course of the decisions that were made before. It's a domino effect.
and listen, and this all breaks the camel's back, bro. All the things we're thinking of, all we gotta do is listen to these interviews and look at those face expressions, and look at these players, bro. Mike Gesicki, George Gotti was a tight ends coach last year.
Yeah.
And you have Mike Gesicki coming out like, no, you know what, guys? Like, we really didn't have a game plan for if we had bad weather. We just stuck to our guns and we went out there. So you're either hard-headed or you just didn't care to win this game. And you know what? Last year, last game of the season, Dolphins did the same shit defensively. Went away from our defensive identity, went up to the Bills. And
Gio, think about this, Gio, though, man. Like, at the same time, if you're Mike Gesicki, how does it benefit you to say that we didn't have a game plan, knowing you're coming into a contract year and knowing that your production level has gone down the past 7 weeks? That's not real smart business decision making if I know I'm not staying here either. So I'm not going to really put a lot of stock into that.
It doesn't help or hurt them, though.
That's what I'm saying, but it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt our aspect of us not knowing that we didn't do anything in that type of situation. Like you said, at that point in time, it was already obvious. I don't need you to tell me something that we already knew. Like, Mike Gesicki's not doing himself any favors as well.
So then, if that's the case, and he's saying what we already knew, what are we arguing about? At the end of the day, the offensive coordinator didn't do their job.
Well, at the end of the day, it's been another year passing by that we should all know, as far as us being fans, that the intelligence level right now is knowing that it all starts at the quarterback position. No more arguments about that.
What, Cap, though? What do good coaches do? Guys in the comment section and the panel, what do good coaches do in pivotal games? They try to outcoach the other coach, right?
Yeah, they got to try it
in every game.
In the last two seasons, most important game of the season,
we got outcoached. And outplayed, though. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I saw a team yesterday that just didn't care to be there.
Fellas, hey, I love you guys. I got to go.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before you go. Do you think that we were outcoached to the point that when Waddle caught that 45-yard bomb that we could have still gotten the game?
Bro, listen, as a matter of fact, great point, because I've been trying to say that. After that 45-yard bomb, and we try to do that trickery play.
3 in a row.
Right? After we do that.
Desperate once the trick play started coming out. Yeah. That was obvious.
Listen, no, you were right, though, Gio. It was directly
Gio,
after that play.
But before you head out, Gio, I got a question, man, because I've been listening, not just to you guys, not just to my peoples and not to that, but I've been listening to all Dolphins people all day. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning last night just with my ear listening, and it's ugly, and it deservedly be. There's a lot of conspiracy, a lot of Tua camp versus Dolphins camp. In some ways, did they leave the boy out there to hang out to dry? Did they put it in his hand to win? And that's kind of going back to what I expected to see out of Tua this year that would know. Was he going to be man enough? And I'm not calling him not man enough because I believe he is. But he didn't assert himself and take the game over and take the offense over and do something. He didn't do anything. And that's kind of what hurt to watch because it failed in ways that he could have prevented. And that's what he should have done, man. I think he should have stepped up a little bit more.
Well, beyond all that, like I said, the most upsetting part about all this, the season's, we got one more game, but for all intents and purposes, the season's over, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go into the offseason. We're going to look at our draft picks. We're going to look at all the money we've got. We're probably going to pick up a running back. We're going to get a lineman. Oh, we're going to say, if we can just get a receiver, if we get, whatever. They're going to feed us what we think we need, and we're all going to get excited, and then everything's going to be the same again. And that's the worst part is because, like I said, it's not the small little pieces that change you from being a team that gets eliminated every year to go into a Super Bowl.
Well, Brandon, you
don't make that gap. Make that gap. That gap is only made truly with one position.
That's right. And King Mill just brought it up in the comment sections. Let's get on to this QB conversation, guys, because now, without looking too forward to the offseason and draft or anything like that, this team, for the first time ever, because of what Chris Greer has done, because of what the team has done, and because of, other things, we're looking at potentially Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and we all know Deshaun Watson as possible players for that job. So who wants what? Who get at us in the comment sections. Who do you want? Why do you want them? Let's hear it around the room.
Is it safe to have that conversation? Is it safe now to have that conversation?
Of course it's safe, because I've seen the team turn their back on this kid, and we've seen it before already. So, I mean, listen, I don't want to call it writing on the wall, and I never wanted to give up on Tua. As Brandon will let you know, I would love nothing more.
You always remain hopeful.
I love him.
I wished I was wrong.
I love him.
I've said that.
Chris, I want him to be our quarterback with the trophy, holding it up. That's what I want to see. Because honestly, and I heard this on Same Old Dolphins earlier today, and from other people. Oh no, it was Kadeem. I heard it from at Go Time Dolphins. He says we're gonna see him go somewhere and hold up a trophy before we get one, and that's the plight of a Dolphins fan.
I'm not sold on that.
I know, but I'm saying, that's the plight of a Dolphins fan. He would go somewhere else. We'd get Deshaun go to prison. We're left with nothing, and we watch him in 5 years win a trophy with Carolina or something like that. That would be right where this fan base has been, and it's kind of a shitty situation, guys. Like I said, where do we move from here?
I never wanted Tua to start with. Once we got him, I'd said time and time again how I felt. I've always felt that way. And I prayed. I said, look, I don't say all this because I want it to be true. I wish nothing more I could be more wrong about it than I ever was, because I wish he would be great. Not because, Tua's such a great guy. Simply because he's your guy. You drafted him. You got him on the cheap. Mm-hmm. And you didn't have to give up a whole lot of assets to get it. Whoever we're talking about, if it's Russell Wilson, if it's Aaron Rodgers, if it's Deshaun, whoever, or moving up in the draft. And
talking at least money, whatever. At least money, draft picks, and it's moving you further away from where we're going. Now, that's not what any of us want, but hey, life is full of shit you don't want to do if you want to get to where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And it might be that point now where we look, if that's what we got to do. But like I said, even at this point, unless you get a Rodgers, I think. I don't even know with Russ, honestly, and I'm not even convinced with Watson.
At this point,
if you bring him in 1 year or 2 years, you're Super Bowl.
After what we just heard now earlier today with Reason on his show, and sorry, and what he broke down about the rumors now saying that there was a scuffle after the game with Tua's camp or I'm sorry. Not Tua's camp. Let me not say that. Let me take that back.
Tread lightly, brother. Tread lightly, brother.
Yeah, it was pretty much a scuffle between a coach and a player to be nameless. Let's just put it like that.
Yes.
And I bet it was Parker. He was pissed. God, he was pissed in that game.
And it pretty much looked like things are not working out to the point that what you're talking about is starting to become more of a realization.
I know. I don't like to play conspiracy over here, man, but
yeah,
at this point in the game right now. Trees.
Yeah, exactly. Like at this point in the game right now, like we're not naive. You know what I mean? Like
no,
it's for us right now as a fan base to finally say that, you know what I'm saying, hey, we know what's going on, even though you don't think we know what's going on. We got enough beat writers out here and enough hosts out here that are having their own show based upon this.
Well, first of all, this is
primary
South Florida.
Situation.
The town talks, brother. You know, Cap. This is South Florida. This is Florida. The town talks. The beat on the street is different than the beat that you're getting on. I mean, listen, that's why we come here to YouTube, guys. And we come out here and thank you, YouTube, for having this awesome platform. We can come out here and spew nonsense out of our mouths because some of it is well-educated guesses and some of it is word through the grapevine. And this grapevine has produced fruit for people before around here because this is South Florida and everybody knows everybody, especially these trainers, these friends of trainers, these, people that's a football state, man, their kids, their coaches. The word on the street is not good. And it's been nice in this winning streak. And we've seen the team, for lack of a better term, in a way, shit the bed. And now the fan base is looking to blame people. So that's when they start pointing fingers around each other. That's when people get their heads cut off, and it's ugly.
Well, you know what? At this point in the game right now, it's if people want to say, "Hey, you guys are playing with other people's money," you know what? I can go ahead and tell you, as a fan, you've been playing with my money for almost 30 years. So
that's damn right.
Like, where are we standing? You know what I'm saying?
So King Mill here has a question for the panel, and he asks, "Is it time to move on from Tua?" And we'll start with you, Mike, and we'll go to me and around. What do you think, Mike? Is it time to move on from him?
Yes. I wanted to say, I wish I could sit here. He's my quarterback, man. I want to sit here and defend him. I want to sit here and say like, hey, this guy's gonna be it. This guy's gonna be the dude. But he's the Dolphins quarterback, and I don't see him as part of the future. I put a video out before this whole win streak started about how I do believe he's gonna be great somewhere, but I don't think it's here in Miami anymore. And I really think it is time to move on. But the direction in which to go, like King Mill said right here, do you want Watson? He's a younger guy, top 5 QB when he's healthy. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. King Mill is like, hey, I wish I had reasons to talk myself out of it, but my answer is blatantly yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to say yes as well. It's going to be a little bit more complicated than a simple yes. My no wants to come out because I like Tua in all the other parts, and I still believe in him, as do most of us here. But I say yes because I've suffered with this team my entire dang life. And I remember Dan very clearly and seeing him up close. And I've seen Tua, and not that he's not a good quarterback, but that's not Dan. And not that we're going and getting Dan right now, but I remember how exciting it was knowing that a guy had a cannon for an arm and he could steal
difference maker.
It's a difference maker, bro. It's a heartbreaker and a difference maker. And we haven't had that since he left. And I'm not saying that we can draft one, because I ain't seen this team do that either. What I do see is I see a couple of guys potentially on the market. One of them wants to come here. And that scenario will never happen ever again, guys. It will never happen ever again. And yeah, you're right, King Mill. We probably missed that shot on Herbert, brother. We probably
different story for a different day, because that was my boy after his.
I don't want to go there because that is what it is. But
let me ask you this.
Hold on. Let's finish the panel. Let's finish the panel. Cap, go ahead, Brandon. What do you think? Is it yes or no?
Well, I mean, I've already said it. There's no secret here. Mine's a yes. But for anybody that is still somewhat on the fence with it, I just have a couple simple questions, and all y'all can just give a quick yes or no on it. Is Tua in, I would say, 1 to 10 of the quarterback range? Would you say 10 to 20 or 20 to 32? Right now, as of today,
low 20s.
I'd say he's a mid-tier quarterback. I'd say he's a mid-tier. I'd say 21.
Okay. What about you, Cap? I mean, we're all about in the same feel of it, right? I don't think he's the worst in the league.
21. What about you, Ennis?
Okay, so
he's better than Baker.
Oh yeah. Well,
Ennis, what do you think?
We're not going to break
top
it all
and
down.
30 and a 32. Where do you rank him?
It can just be in a
15
tier.
and 20.
15 and 20. So we're all kind of around the same spot.
And that's pretty fair. I mean, anybody objective can tell you that.
Yeah.
My next question usually for people is, now let's project a little, which is hard, I understand. But do you ever see him getting into that 1 through 10 spot, which is typically your really, really great to elite?
I can see that. I could definitely see that.
See it?
I can see that. Yeah.
If you see that, if you really do believe that, which I don't think he'll ever get there. But that's just me.
I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback. Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback at times. I've seen him top 10 in the league.
Not per game.
You're talking about what we were saying earlier, where you're counting the playoff teams and you're saying this quarterback and that quarterback are definitely going to be in the playoffs. Then no, I don't see that. No, I don't see where we're going to say this quarterback like Rodgers, like Brady, like Mahomes is in the playoffs every year.
But let me bring you
no,
back
no,
to
it's beyond all the other players. But like I said, to answer the question, yes, we need to move on from Tua. But do I think getting a Watson, whatever it may cost, if it costs a couple first, if it costs whatever it may end up costing, that's not my point. We're not here to argue that right now. My thing is, even if we go to a Watson, I can't definitively tell you that team will make the playoffs year one, that he's not suspended or whatever he's got going on, because of the other things that we've got problems with right now in this franchise. But
I don't know, man. I think the year Deshaun comes back, God help whoever stands in his way, man, because that boy's going to The only way to get rid of bad publicity for football players is to play good ass football, and that is exactly what he's going to do when he comes. Definitely. What do you think? I mean, are you kidding me? He is going to come out with his hair on fire. I don't care what team it is.
But like I said, beyond all that, like my simple answer, yes, to move on from Tua. But is Tua the reason why we didn't make the playoffs? And that answer, I say, is no.
Go ahead, Cap.
No, crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
Matt, you want to move on to yes or no, and why?
Look, at this point in the game, man, like I said, I give the benefit of the doubt to anybody who's wearing these colors, and at this point in the game right now, man, it's safe to say that it's hard for me to say that. That's why it's real difficult for me just to give up on this situation, but. At this point in the past, it's been 2 decades of the same stuff over and over, starting over from scratch. At this point, let's microwave this bitch. You know what I mean? Let's just do what Tampa Bay did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They went all in on a quarterback, even though they knew that the stakes were high, and they pulled it off, man. You know what I mean? They did the same thing with the coaching change when they got rid of with Tony Dungy, even though Tony Dungy's team won that Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl, in my opinion, but John Gruden brought in the offense, and they catered to that need. So it's like, if you don't need that much, don't make simple difficult. You know what I mean? Like, I like Tua, man. Don't get me wrong. The kid's a strong ass kid, man, tough as hell. But how far is he going to get you? And I think we've seen that in these type of elements, and I'm not sold on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching this replay. I'm watching a little bit of the replay of the game. First throw to Parker, gorgeous 15, 20-yard gain. Second play was Duke Johnson run up the right side for a 10, 12-yard gain. And then after that, it was sack. And then it was sailed throw. And then it was another sailed throw, and we had to punt.
Yeah.
So I'll rephrase the question then a little bit. Hold on, I'm trying to get some freaking bad comments out of the section. Do you, for people who are watching, and please guys, like, subscribe, come back to the show, get in the comments like King Mill over here. We'd love to hear what people are saying. We're trying to grow. We got other shows. Brandon the Bookie's got a show tomorrow night for the Bookie show. Do a lot of stuff. Mike on the Mic's got the Drop the Mic show. He does the stuff. He's going to be doing some baseball here in the future. But back to the point is, if we've almost created a perfect split. It's almost like we're either going to keep Tua and we're going to watch either this GM and this coach or one go or the other. And it's like, okay, either we scrap everything and keep Tua or scrap Tua and keep everything except for what it takes to trade for who we get. And I'm not ready to give up. I would have to say I'm not ready to give up on Flo and Chris Greer over Tua. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of the void we find ourselves in, where they've created a line. This team looking at Deshaun, trying to do stuff, behind closed doors, and trying to, get one over on the Texans, for the second or third time they did. But I'd have to say that I'd side with the organization, the aqua and orange. That's what we want to win. And I don't think. And listen, I like Tua, and I think he's great. But I don't know if that's going to work.
This is my deal. Right now, Tua is my quarterback. So he's got my support. But I'm not by any means going to be upset or lose any sleep if we decide to move on. if money's not an issue and they really want to make a splash, you go trade for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and you completely flip this offense on its head. But at this point right now, Tua's a quarterback. If they decide he's not the quarterback, I'll be looking forward to supporting the next guy. But I'm not going to lose any sleep if he's not my quarterback next year. I watched a guy put a ball in the dirt on a fifth, even like a 12-yard pass where he's rolling out to his left, wasn't even crossbody. I watched him sail slant routes, which he's supposed to be the best at. I watched him sail the slant routes, 3 or 4 of them in a row to Devontae Parker. Got Devontae Parker all pissed off after the non-PI call. Get him on the sideline. They're talking and chit-chatting, but then he didn't even get back on the same page. I mean, the game was over at that point, so it doesn't matter about coaching him up. But I watched a guy that could not play in an NFL game. And maybe it was the coaching. I keep wanting to go back to the college coordinators. I think they're college coordinators trying to coordinate an NFL game. And I'm sitting here literally watching this game on the left side of the screen, and I'm watching these play calls where you have 5 guys going 7 yards downfield to run routes in the same play. Like they're not even creating levels. When they do create levels, then Tua picks the right guy, and it's usually a pretty play. But they just don't know. I don't know. And they changed it all up. I'm still confused on why they changed everything up. They've been working for 7 years.
If it is,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick, and I want to see if Ennis can answer this first. If we're quick to make a decision on either the quarterback or the coach, which one is more easier to fix at this point?
Coordinator, I guess.
Right? It's got to be the.
Not really.
It's easier to replace the quarterback.
Yeah, at this point, from the way this team has positioned itself, and for the market, the open market that's coming, I would say that might be easier because what coordinator can we hire right now? What coordinator is available? What coordinator would even want to come here if we kept to knowing the limitations this team has put on this offense? Can't get creative. He doesn't have that arm that people want to see. Doesn't have that other stuff. The lack of mobility.
The issue is what I've said from the beginning. Now, if we're calling a college game, Tua's a college quarterback.
Perfect.
It should work.
Eric Crouch.
It should be, but the issue isn't that. The issue is Tua now is not that. He's in a college type of system with the RPOs and all that. It should not work. The reason why it's not working is he's playing against NFL talent all the way across the board. He's not having the luxury of being at Alabama where you're surrounded with NFL talent on your side, and then you're going against, on the other team, an NFL player here, an NFL player here, and then maybe a backup guy in the league, on another, part of the lineup. That's not what he's going against. He's going against all NFL guys now. And the issue is he's just not good enough. He's just not.
So is it because of Tua's limitations?
They haven't ran the RPO that much the last couple of games. So I don't. But I'm just gonna say. I'm just say this. Personally, until he's cleared up, I have daughters and I have a wife that's been through that type of situation.
Yeah.
So I'm not touching that. That's just my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with his play on the field.
Watson.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But if
Watson
you say I'm a tour guy. But if you say we can get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, I'm with that.
Yep.
But I don't trust this organization to build around them like one of y'all was saying earlier. That's going to set us back a year or two. And then the setback, do we trust that you're going to do the right thing for us to wait 1 or 2 more years to set back to get it right for that person that they bringing in? That's where I'm like, to me, build a roster. And if he doesn't work, go get a cherry and put it on top. But you keep trying to get the cherry on the top and the sundae and the banana split is not made. You see what I'm saying? You can't put greatness on top of trash. You have to build something so that greatness can excel. It can be Watson, it can be Rodgers, it can be Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It don't matter if they not playing with nothing. Like, I'm confused. We want to put a Band-Aid over issues with this quarterback, and it's not going to fix everything else. This is not Disney World. This is not the movie. This is not Friday Night Lights.
Respond to Kevin right here. He says it's a trash system in place, produces consistent trash for 20 plus years. So how do we change everything? Because it's been bad since before Ross got here too.
But I'm saying I agree with the Greer thing. I said this. Cap can tell you. I said this at the beginning of the year. Like, we have to hold him accountable because you've been here. So
Yeah.
if you seen that he was promoting Godsey and you signed off on that, then you're a fool to think that that was going to work.
Yep.
For one, that's your job on the line if Flo fails. So you signed up for failure yourself. So then I got to question you. But then when you hit on these picks, it's hard to question you because
Yeah.
it's like, damn, you did so much great over here, but you so incompetent with telling Flo, no, that's not, no, we're not doing that. If you can't do that, then that's incompetence, and that's something big. We keep just pushing over to the side like it's okay. No, that's not okay because we, like Cap said all year, this is how many offensive coordinators we done had
Yeah.
coming in and out this door.
It's been
That
ugly.
don't bother
That's for sure.
nobody.
It
Yeah,
bothers the
bothers me.
shit
It
out of
bothers
me, bro.
Cap.
Tannehill
And
never
Cap
had
had to
Big
wake
C
me up
coaches
on
in
that.
years.
And
Yeah.
it's definitely stunted Tua's growth. There's no consistency with a young quarterback on a young offensive line.
It happened, but
where
it
they've
happened
taken
with
a lot
Tannehill.
of risks, man. They really have.
So it's hard for me to say he's not it. And these incompetent things are big incompetence. People just want to downplay it because
But
they want to be fans and be excited. But bro, that has a trickle effect, just like you said, the domino. That is a domino people keep avoiding. But they want this man to carry a team with so much incompetence around him. How is he? Ain't no quarterback going to function incompetent. Yeah, I bring up Tampa Bay. Brady went there.
Yeah.
There was no incompetence in that organization.
Yeah, but
there's no incompetence in Kansas
but
City.
I'm just talking from what we know from this organization under, well, I don't want to say this regime because it's been under the owner because it's kind of been consistent with all the regimes that somebody's head gets put on the chopping block and it's usually not the guy whose fault it is. Am I right?
I know, but Chris,
it's usually not the guy who's fault.
But I want y'all to think about this. Why did not David and Conley not come down here? Why did other key free agents not want to come down here? We have to think about that too. And then Fuller,
the only ones, the Mario Williams, only come because they know they're washed and they can get that last check, no state income,
right? Like Fuller,
and retire.
Yeah,
Fuller. But the guys that do come
Robert
down
Quinn.
are what was the running back we had a couple years ago that quit like the fourth game? He was the old Texans running back. He quit third or fourth game of the season because he knew he was washed, but he got another check. Arian Foster, thank you. That was who I was thinking of. It happens all the time, but like I said, look, there's a lot of issues with everything that we got going on. Everything's right. But I do want to mention really quick, and I don't want to turn it into a huge debate on it, but as far as the Watson thing goes, people say, it bothers me because, wives and daughters, I have 2 daughters, a wife and all of that. Yeah. My only thing is are you just saying that because you want to see, because if he pays off these girls or whatever, that is clearing it up and there's no criminal charges, then he's good to go. Does it bother you less because he's got it paid up, or do you want to say you want to wait to see how it plays out because then you ain't got to worry about any, losing as far as him to any type of criminal stuff?
I got 3 little girls. I got twins and I got a 5-year-old, and my twins are about to be 3. But if he's paying them off just to get through it, and here's my deal. The reason why
you'll never know that, though.
Listen,
Mike,
I know, but here's my deal why I'm on the fence
bro.
about Watson. Because in the beginning, he didn't want to go to trial because he wanted to share his side. And if that is the case, and he's paying him off just so he can play football again, then I don't know. But if he's paying him off to keep him quiet, and he doesn't, and he never eventually shares his side, I need to, before I can put my faith in a man that is accused of doing that type of stuff and taking advantage of that type of women in that certain type of way, I need to know, I want to hear both sides. Right now, we haven't got to hear either side except for what the media has shown us. So unless you're in that courtroom, if he's paying him off to keep him quiet, maybe I don't want the guy. But if he's paying him off because he just wants to play football, and then he's eventually going to do a share all and let me share you all the details.
Yeah, we'll see the 20 for 20, 30 years from now.
As far as the Watson thing, that's another thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't followed every single detail of this whole saga that's played out now for over a year. But from what I understand,
you just said it. Over a year. Ezekiel Elliott didn't have to go through all that long. I mean, how many games did he serve?
His is because the number.
He stayed with the team, and it's not like he's wanting to leave the team. It's a little different. But yeah, I understand.
Is the numbers we're talking about of people here. But forgive me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard one of them say that he forcefully held a woman down, raped her, used his stature like that. I mean, from what I understand, he was going on Instagram and this stuff, finding hot chicks, flying them out. They knew what the deal was. He's getting a little rub and tug.
There
Did he
is
get
there
caught
is
for it?
there is definitely a gray area that needs to come to the forefront, like Mike said, and hopefully we get some clarity on it because nobody wants to put their faith in a scumbag, but nobody wants to.
But
Well,
yeah,
first of all, there's been plenty of people that have been.
Yeah.
He's a rapist, and I didn't like that either. And
I
I don't want
I've
to
never
defend a
heard one
rapist,
argument of that.
but I don't want to defend a potential rapist. But when you're calling a man a rapist and it's not set in stone yet. This is America. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you could say whatever you want. But that's not for me, man. I'm
Well, like
not
I said,
putting
all the
labels on people and
accusations
stuff.
I've heard, I haven't heard a single.
I haven't heard
quote,
anything
unquote,
like that. You're
rape.
right. You're right.
It's mostly look.
Do you want to put your
used his
faith? Do
celebrity.
you want to put your faith on Kirk Cousins, or you want to
No.
put your faith on
Hell
Baker
no.
Mayfield or Jimmy G?
Nope.
I
Or,
want Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
That's what I want. If you want to know if I can have my dream
I got an article
scenario,
still.
I would take those two guys, and that would be great. Why don't you get that article ready?
Yeah,
I would
So-
take Russ too.
I would take Russ too.
Russ.
I think Russ coming here.
Russ looks fat.
Listen, he does look a little chunky,
He
doesn't
looks
he? He
fat.
looks like he looks put on a couple of pounds. But
Yeah.
Russ
He's going to
coming
need
here.
some extra armor behind this O line if he comes here. So, he's going to need a little extra pad.
Yeah, he is.
What about David Carr?
No, I actually like the guy. I think he
I
has
don't
a
know. David
great
Carr. I
element.
don't know. It's
Is he a
wishy
difference
washy.
maker? I don't think so.
I
No,
think
I don't
he's
think he takes us over the top.
but I don't know, man. It's
There's truly only about 5 quarterbacks in this
So-
entire league that makes true differences, not just on game day, but in a franchise.
So I'm gonna read this real quick, and then I want Ennis and I want Cap. I want y'all, and then Brandon eventually. It says, according to Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports, don't sleep on the prospect of both Rodgers and Adams being shipped off to the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is doing his job as a second-year starter, and he's earned more audition time, he wrote, but when it has that stopped aggressive teams from acting? Miami thrived with Ryan Fitzpatrick as Tua relief in 2020, then reportedly kept eyes on Deshaun Watson despite his litany of legal issues. Rodgers would fulfill that desire for established help and then some. Think that's
Let me go first.
Gonna get some steam, or
Go ahead.
Let me go first. Like, if it's true, I'm just saying, I'm going off if it is true. I think if I was them and he wants to leave, and I'm seeing what Miami's offering for Watson, and I got a Pro Bowl MVP, why not see if I can make a deal? Like, you be stupid not to, just to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they would do it. I'm just saying if they dream scenario, if they would, like, why wouldn't they? You got more reasons to do it from their side because, like, he wants to leave, and y'all giving up this for Watson. Look, I got an MVP over here.
so okay.
And he
but
about to win.
real quick on that point, I want you to keep going. But on that point, my dad always says that if a player wants to get out, they hold all the cards, and they're going to be able to, like, they're not going to play, and if he's still under a contract, he's going to retire and leave him with Jordan Love. So do you think that Aaron Rodgers, if he really wants out, is it still going to be that expensive?
I don't think
Probably
so.
even less. That might work better in Miami's favor.
That's what I'm
You see
thinking.
what I'm saying?
I listen, and Aaron Rodgers got his his COVID situation, and we all know how DeSantis is. I think it's a perfect marriage, dog. I think it's a perfect marriage, Aaron. Come on down here, brother. We don't care what your whole deal is. Immunization, whatever you got, brother. That's on you.
I could get behind that narrative, a MVP Super Bowl winner, than I can the 22 allegation non-criminal
I mean,
charge.
look, Brady already came here to retire. Rodgers should come here to retire. Maybe we can make a thing out of this. All the old quarterbacks come and have their old. They were coming here to retire in Florida anyhow. Might as well just make it just a thing.
Hey, 3 years ago we were talking about Aaron Rodgers declining, and all he's done and win another. He's gonna win another MVP.
I know, right? They're like, oh, he's dropping off. Nope.
He still has gas in the tank. Everybody here knows that,
and he can play in cold weather too, bro.
Hey, that's not even mentioning Devontae Adams.
I understand.
If we did have to give up whatever it may cost, because we don't know what the cost is.
They got $100 million in capital, bro. They got draft assets. We got young players. We could let a couple of these guys go. Wilkins, things like that.
You hush your mouth. You ain't losing Wilkins.
But my thing is, look, it's not like you're not taking Rodgers if that's the route you go. It's not like you're just saying, oh, we're putting all our eggs in the basket for 1 year. I don't think it's that. You have a window. And then the NFL, I think it's honestly, you can't look past 3 or 4 years in the NFL.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
As far as real windows go, because there's so much that changes.
So if he comes in and
play for that, like we said, microwave it, max it out.
Yeah,
do your thing.
Cap, you like the prospect of going after Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams? Because it's not just Aaron Rodgers. Like, this article is about getting both of them because of the whole cap situation with them wanting to franchise Devontae Adams and all that stuff. If there's a real possibility we can get both of them, are you willing to give up what it's going to cost?
Yeah, I mean, it's foolish if you don't look into that type of scenario, man. If you're getting a 2-for-1, that's guaranteed, knowing that, Adams is coming up for free agency as well. And then, if San Francisco doesn't become a game player in this because of the Trey Lance thing, but there's rumors of him wanting to go to San Fran. But Miami, man, if there's a situation where you can get out of something that looks toxic and make it look pretty good, this is a scenario that can work out.
I mean, honestly, and I know this is another thing, it may be a little controversial, but I'll go ahead and say it. If you get Rodgers next year, he's already the best quarterback you've ever had in franchise history. And I know, listen, Dan is the man. Hold on. I know it's going to upset some people, but we're not just talking about he's got a Super Bowl and the MVPs, but he's got all the records that Marino has. Now, he wouldn't be the best quarterback for the duration of our franchise. I'm just talking about overall. He's gone down with one of the highest QBRs in league history ever. Now you're talking about Devontae Adams, probably one of the best receivers we'll probably ever have in this franchise, or we've had to this point. I'm not going to say he's the best when you go over everything, but he's up there. You're talking about adding 2 of the best players you're ever going to have in this franchise's history. You can put them on the team in 1 year with what we got. You've got to do that. And like I said, it may upset some people out there that I just said that, because I know Dan is the man, and I'm not saying he falls well behind him. I'm just saying you've gotta look at it that way. Now, am I way off on that?
No, I don't think. I look. Aaron Rodgers to me has one of the most electric arms we'll ever see.
Cap looks a little upset. Did I say this? Am I wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong at all, man. It's a situation.
Okay.
Like I agree with you, Brandon. If you're gonna do it, you max it out. Like Brady set the standard right now for playing in this league. I don't know if they're too far apart in age, but if you're really gonna do something, your window is at least 4 to 5 years. And at this point in time in the new NFL, it's been 3 to 4. Yeah, it's been 3 to 5, 3 to 4. So
look what Kansas City did. They hit on their quarterback, and they signed everybody. They didn't care about cap. They said, we'll worry about cap later on. What did Tampa do this year? They re-signed everybody. They said, we'll worry about the cap later. You don't worry about that. You put the best team on the you can this year. You don't worry about, saving capital or saving draft picks or whatever you got, or money for the future, because you don't know what the future is going to hold. You don't.
Hey guys, so just real quick, and it's a little bit off topic because we kind of, had a couple of funny things about Kirk Cousins, but Brandon sent me something here, and that's my boy Brandon in the back, Brandon Hall in the thing, not this Brandon, the bookie, but Rodgers. Okay, so Kirk Cousins, and he said, "Oh, you guys want Kirk Cousins?" So that Kirk Cousins has more completions and attempts. He's got more yards than Rodgers. I get it, and their numbers are pretty comparable in some of these stats. It's actually pretty funny, man. If you can get that mic, can you get that mic and pull it up what Brandon sent?
Where is it?
All right, a lot of Mike isn't just following the stats. Like we said with Tua, when he had his 70 and 80% passings, it's the eyeball test. You know what true greatness is by looking at it. You don't have to look at the box scores. You don't have to look at the stat sheets. Would anybody say Cousins is better than Aaron Rodgers?
Not better than Aaron Rodgers.
Any year. No. Now, it's those things, like I said, you can that's the funny thing about numbers. You can twist stats any way you want. It's true.
Here's my
Your eyes don't lie.
K. Salt, you right though. Aaron Rodgers holds a lot. Here's the problem. Here's not the problem. Here's the solution. You go get an Aaron Rodgers, you go get a Devontae Adams that shares up 2 spots on your team that you're not gonna have to worry about. Then you take that other 60, maybe 55 million you have, and you do go shore up that offensive line. Because if you get Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, the offense is done. Get you a running back in the draft, shore up that O-line with the rest of your cap space, sign one more linebacker, and this team's ready to rock. But they ain't gonna get Rodgers, they ain't gonna get Wilson. They're not going to go after Deshaun Watson without fixing this line. I refuse to believe Chris Greer's that dumb to be able to bring in this star quarterback and think this offensive line's okay. They got $100 million to spend for a reason. They need to go fix this O-line. They need to go get they need to get a quarterback, and then they need to get another stud on the wide receiver to take all the pressure off Waddle, because obviously Parker, he may not be it. I mean, the guy can't stay healthy. This is still another year he didn't stay healthy. But I'm going to show this really quick, and you can talk about it, Chris. Hang on.
So yeah, Brandon Hall, he's a different Brandon to the show. He's got he's gonna be the back of the curtain kind of guy. He sent me this little bit of graphic here when we were just poking a little bit of fun about, Aaron Rodgers or do you want Kirk Cousins and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it's a little bit grainy and stuff like that. Mike, why don't you just read them out, man? I figured it'd come to you a little bit better than that.
Yeah, you're right. It's all right. It's Aaron Rodgers is QB number 7. And I guess the lowest he's been is lowest been QB 7, highest been QB 6. But I don't even know what that is, man, because it shows I can't see. That's 358 yards. It looks like for the season, Kirk Cousins doing better. So yards per attempt, it looks like Aaron Rodgers doing better. 33 touchdowns to 30, 4 interceptions to 7. I think that might be sacks. Kirk Cousins has only been sacked 25 times. But
yet, when we look at Aaron Rodgers, what do we see different between him and Kirk Cousins? And it's that factor that I talked about earlier in the show, hoping to see from Tua. It's that, and not that Tua doesn't have the it factor, because let's be real, guys. No one has come to the Dolphins with more of a cachet, with just a fan base and the it factor. We all, bought into this tank for Tua, and we were all on board. And
hey, don't say all of us. I never wanted a tank for Tua.
Yeah, but you know what? What I mean by that is the whole concept.
Well, I didn't want a tank for Tua, but I wanted a tank.
That's what I'm talking about. And it was Tua that we got and stuff like that. And last night, like I said, guys, I was talking to DDW and stuff like that, and he made a pretty good point. It doesn't look like that first. If you look at Chris Greer's entire tenure as a GM since this time, that draft where he picked those 3 first draft picks with Tua, Austin Jackson, and Iggy, you take those 3 out, he's like the best GM of all time.
Yeah, because those 3 suck.
Well, it doesn't look like they had a plan. And from what I can see out of Chris Greer, he definitely looks like a guy with a friggin' plan. So,
dude, Austin Jackson got beat on a jab step to the outside and then came back inside, and he was literally on the ground by the time the guy got past him.
I know.
And
saw that play.
And then Tua, you see Tua, he's doing what he's doing, and Noah Iguodala, he can't even get on the damn field anymore.
But my point was making what point he said. He goes, they never intended to pick Tua. Yeah. They never intended to have those 3 first rounders. They were going to use those picks to get Watson or trade up and get Burrow, and they figured what they had, this massive amount, that Cincy was going to take 5 first-round picks and 2 players. And they said no. And they figured, okay, well, our backup plan is Deshaun. And then they said, we're not trading him. And so here they are, left holding this bag of money they were planning to friggin' sell, and they've only got from the second round up in their draft picks. And so they just went with what they thought. And
well, Deshaun wasn't even an option during the Tua draft.
Yeah, but
that wasn't even a thing.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's I think there's a little bit of bit of whispers.
Poor preparation throughout the franchise, all the way from Ross down. But there's nothing we can do about that. Like I said, there's only a few.
Ernest, how do you know Rodgers isn't interested? Ernest, I've seen your comment come up. How do you know Rodgers isn't interested in playing for Flores, bro? How do you know that? I mean, what's the? How do you know?
And so I'm not going to take the words out of his mouth, but I'm going to try and answer for him. I don't know that anybody doesn't want to play for Flores. It's because from what I see, Flores, and this is not, I don't want you to think that this is a good thing, but Flores lets everybody do their job. Flores lets the coordinators do their job.
Well,
He has the defensive
Mike,
coordinator doing his
Yeah,
job. He
but
lets the players
at
do
there
the
their
was-
same
job.
time, at the same time, Xavier Howard wanted out of here, and
But he didn't.
if it comes to a situation where push
Xavier
comes
wanted
to
his
shove,
money.
and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but Xavier wanted his money, but at the same
He
time,
wanted
he
his money.
held
He didn't
out.
care if it was here or elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point in the game right now, is it? Do we even try to do something where it becomes obvious that we just want to fix one problem, or do we try to fix other problems that we don't try to need to fix in the secondary and try to deal him as well? Which I'm not on favor of doing that, but are we really trying to fix one problem or a whole bunch of problems right now to try to solidify some type of like draft some draft capital? Because at this point right now, what do we have in the draft?
So, Cap, I want to ask you, and then we can get to the draft in a second, but I want to ask you a question. You replace Tua, does everything get better?
It depends on who you replace him with, man, to be honest.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as far as the whole,
that's
Rodgers
a tough
and
one.
Flores play. Well, as far as Rodgers and Flores, all I can say is if any half decent salesman could get in front of Rodgers, how attractive is it? I know he eventually is a California guy, but we're talking about the weather, the state income tax, what the money's making, but not just that. You're going to a team that
has a good D.
Hold on. You can be a god. Flores is a defensive guy, and you could pitch to him and say, look, Rodgers, there's not a single coverage that anybody in this league can throw at you that you can't dissect. There's not a single thing that you haven't
Give
seen
him full reign.
Give him a little – listen, Brady started this. Brady started this when he started, and that's what pissed off Wilson. That's what pissed off Rodgers.
That's right.
Is these guys have been in the league for 10, 12,
and the NFL does
years,
not want this,
and they're
guys.
great, and they're truly great. If they've got a chance to kind of make their own mark,
boy,
and make their own stuff,
I know it.
I know, right? But I'm just saying, like, would that not be a hell of a sales pitch? Saying, look, we've got the defense for you. Flores is not going to tell you how to run the offense. You're gonna, you're not gonna have full range of picking every single thing as far as the offense goes, as far as players and free agents. But there's not a hell of a lot we're going to tell you no to. And you know what I'm saying? Like, is that not attractive as a guy going into almost 40 years old? Has MVPs, has a Super Bowl, but really wants to get one or two more to really cement his legacy.
Yeah, he wants that Hall of Fame jacket to be shiny.
Oh, no, he's got that Hall of Fame jacket.
Yeah, but I'm talking about he wants the shiny one.
He wants that late career.
He wants that Brady stuff. He wants that Brady stuff.
That Brady. They all
You know what? Brady opened the door to making this more of a players' league, which the NFL wants to stop, kind of like how the NBA is. You guys got to kind of
shield.
You gotta understand, man. These are billionaires, okay, and these are billionaires' toys. Our teams, it's their toy. They don't have to have these things. They're billionaires without it. They want to win, and no more than I think our owner does, because we see he puts his money where his mouth is and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything, and we talked about this last night, and I mentioned again on with TD that who wouldn't you trade, give up, buy, sell for a guy that you thought could be Dan Marino? Nobody. There's nothing worth. I would sell everything, because at least with that, we could fire every coach. We could fire every player, but have that one element, because that's the most important thing on the whole team.
Well, hell, that's what we haven't had. That's the only thing we haven't had. We've had defenses out the wazoo. We've had great offensive talent. We've had decent running backs. Hell, we had Ricky Williams. We've had the talent. We just ain't had the quarterback. So I agree with you. I mean, whatever it takes, you've got to go get one at this point.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, there's a lot that's got to happen with this team. We'll see. We don't even know. This is all fantasy talk as far as a Rodgers thing. This is all fantasy talk about.
Hey, it's fantasy talk.
We don't hold the. Yeah, there's a lot of things that get reported every year.
But we're talking this fantasy talk because of what the team has done, not because and what Tua didn't do, and what this team has done to make this conversation real. It's them that went out, and all the reports, our owner, before the season started, how we're reaching out to Watson, a lot of this mixing up the team did and put us in this situation. And now here we are. And this is what we get.
Yeah, well, what happened there?
Mike just dropped out for a second. He's running out.
I didn't drop out. I just went off camera and changed it with mobile.
Oh, okay, buddy. Yeah.
Well,
hey, to Mike's point earlier, man, that was a pretty intense question because, yeah, I mean, if we replace Tua, does that help everything else? I mean, we were supposed to what? Win and we're in, right? We held our own destiny, right?
Yeah.
Multiple
Are we
years
that far
in the
off?
past 5, we've had that.
I think we're a quarterback
Are
off,
we
to be
really?
honest. I think a good quarterback wins that game against Tennessee.
I don't know that. Well, I definitely know he would have probably completed some of those passes that were just overthrown or underthrown.
Well, and those were big turning moments in the game.
K. Salt asks, y'all think we're winning this week? And they answer, hell no. I want us to win. I never don't want to win as a Dolphins fan. Would I bet on the Dolphins to win? I wouldn't bet on the Dolphins to win. But then again,
I believe I saw the opening line opened at 5.5.
When's the last time we swept the Patriots?
Well, you know what the two ears are going to say, and they're already starting to creep it on Twitter here and there, is that Tua's never lost to Belichick, so we should win this.
He has
game.
it.
So,
he has it.
I mean, that is a statistic, I guess. I would.
But he lost to Urban Meyer, so figure that one. And everybody's talking about, we were game away or when we're in. And people say, could it have made a difference in that Titans game? Forget that. He played that Jags game. What did he didn't put up the points. The problem was not the defense. No, the defense.
Well, the defense early on in the year was the defensive woes that kind of held the team back at times, and that's true.
But was he keeping us in shootouts?
And he lost to John Gruden.
Two coaches,
and both of them lost their jobs. So what does that say?
Yeah.
Neither one of them coaches made it through the season.
Yeah,
hey, but does it really matter if the Patriots play their players? Are they clinched in for the playoffs?
Oh yeah, no. Listen,
they have to
win the division. They can still win the division. If
they can
Buffalo
still win the
loses,
1 seed.
That's right. If Buffalo loses, and they can win the division. If everybody
loses, KC to lose, Titans to lose, and then
Buffalo
Bills, and they get the 1 seed
with a bye.
So they're playing.
They're playing.
Yeah. So I saw an interesting tweet. Earlier, and I want to ask you, Chris, and I want to ask you, Brandon and Cap too. If Patriots had Tua and the Miami Dolphins had Mac Jones, are we in the same position?
Yeah. Same thing.
I'd agree with that because
are the Patriots in the playoffs still?
Yeah, because Belichick's already shown you great coaching and great franchises.
So, Cap, I asked if Mac Jones was on the Dolphins and Tua was in the Patriots, are the Patriots in the playoffs and Dolphins missing and still?
Ooh, man. I don't even want to talk about that because if Mac Jones ends up in the playoffs too, that'll be what? 4 quarterbacks that were almost in the same. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
They're not going to make the playoffs because of Mac Jones.
No, but they're not missing the playoffs because of him either. And we're missing the playoffs because of Tua this last game, I'm telling you.
No. Listen, you can't boil
McDaniels
is
a good offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator. He, that their system is in place. It was set up easier for him. So
hey, show Ernest's comment real quick because that's a good one.
Right. Read it out, Brandon.
Ernest is a different, fellas. Flores has demonstrated he's got interpersonal deficiencies, i.e. Minka, inferiority complex. Why you got to put such a hard word, man? Ejected all coaches, micromanager, need write more? No, you don't. You get I see your point, Ernesto, but at the same time, look at where we were before Flores. And
that's true, man.
And we're deep as hell now. We're deep as hell now. We have people to come in at every position to back up.
And this team fights for him too. So it's not like not like he's ruling with an iron fist and we're getting all the leaking out. I see the guys still fighting for him. Then again,
Chris, what was our main complaint, Chris, the past couple of years? We didn't have an alpha head coach.
You couldn't have a player in there that had any alphaness to him because the coach would cower.
I will say the one thing, because Flores is not perfect. I do have some faith in Flores, but my thing is, I do believe he cares. How frustrating. Remember when we watched that game with Adam Gase and we saw it game after game where we're losing and he's sitting on the bench. He's not even standing on the sand lines. He's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he's like this.
He's playing on his computer. He's playing solitaire. He don't care. That killed every single person there. Yep. At least this coach cares. Yeah, how about when Jakeem got his head taken off against Cincinnati a couple times? And he wanted to go over there and whoop some ass.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a Flores guy. I don't want Flores anywhere. I want Greer.
I am too.
Okay, if Greer doesn't – here's the deal. I bet if Greer makes some moves, say we ride with Tua, he gets a couple offensive linemen, maybe a linebacker, maybe they draft a running back. All this being said, if all this is in place and we get to week 6 and we're 1-5 or 2-3, and is Greer not on the hot seat? Because at this point, it's all his. I refuse to believe that Flores is the problem. I really, really think that. Can you imagine players fighting? K-Dot. Can you imagine players fighting for Gase? Hell no. But
no.
But yeah, for real, I don't think Flores is the problem. I think Flores has as far as the interpersonal deficiencies, Minka's gone because he didn't want to play Flores' style. All the people that are still here, Xavier Howard agreed to a new contract because I think he understands that the way Flores is trying to run this organization is the way that people want to play. They want to play free. They want to have fun on defense. And now, as far as the inferiority complex, he didn't name an experienced guy he got. He got a bunch of guys that didn't have any NFL experience or productive
squad guys the first year,
successful NFL experience. He's probably got the most experience on all period on the staff because of the Super Bowls he was a part of. Like Flores is the man. I don't think Flores is the issue. But I am scared that they make him the scapegoat.
I don't think so. I think he's safe. Listen, Ross don't like to fire people to start with.
No, he doesn't. And we do know he does wait about 8 months too late to fire somebody, and then
it's too late.
Yeah, but really, it's that year, and then 8 months in, right before the end of the season, then we're fire sailing.
He gave Philman an extension after the Minnesota win.
Well, he always pays them on the way out, and I've said this before: if you get that extension and it ain't looking good, it's the kiss of death, bro. It really is.
As much as I'm not a Ross fan, would I love to work for him? He will pay your ass.
Hey, y'all. On K-Dot's
I'll take
point,
that payout.
On K-Dot's
point,
package
is nice.
Level playing ground. Do you think he's right? Tua is greater than Jones?
I agree. Yeah, I think I like Tua's.
What has he shown?
Listen. Tua over Jones.
It's so hard with that last game in my head.
Same here. Yeah.
But
I would take Tua in the grand scheme.
I think they're equal. I think they both throw really good. I think they both throw really good intermediate routes, and I think they're really good at diagnosing their first read. But I think they're the same player. I don't know if anyone's better than the other.
Nope. Nobody diagnoses a first read. There's nothing. The great quarterbacks go beyond it. Everybody.
No, I know, but their first read is about the same. Like it's either as much as we're on Tua right now, he does make a really good. His first read is normally pretty good, and like I'll give you an example.
Pre-snap read is pretty damn good too. I've always enjoyed that about it.
Yeah, and on the flea flicker, like whenever he handed the ball off, he was already looking at the field. Like I give him credit for looking at what the defense is doing, and I'd say 70% of the time he probably has a really good first read. And Jones, I think, is the same way. They both come from the same system, though. What Alabama quarterback has ever shown that they're great? There hasn't been one. So it's the same thing with Ohio State quarterbacks. That you get into the league, and frankly, USC, Carson Palmer is the only one I can name that was. I mean, you had butt fumble Mark Sanchez, but USC, Ohio State, and Alabama, their quarterbacks are great college quarterbacks, and they get to the pros and they do what we're watching.
Name
them all.
Darnold.
I can't name an Ohio State quarterback.
Well, the problem is you ball out when you're in college because, like I said, when you're the more talented team, especially in college, if you have the most talent, you win. You should win just alone, not on coaching. 80% of your games.
Yep.
That's just the truth of it. I don't care. You can flip-flop coaches back and forth, But when you get to the NFL level, your talent, there is some gaps between teams.
But it's usually one or two players on each team.
It's not Alabama playing roast beef state where it doesn't matter. You can put Saban on the other side. It's still going to be a 60-point game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. When you're surrounded by that for 4 years, where you've got the best offensive line, you got first rounders at receiver, you got first round running backs, you got first round tight ends, you're loaded, and then of course it looks great. Your guys are streaking down the field wide open. Nobody can run with them. And you got a brick wall in front of you. So, yeah, you're going to look good. And now I don't think that if Tua would have went to, Virginia Tech or something else, would he have been a better NFL quarterback? Because I think his physical limitations are still there.
Kind of the comparison that I made last week about Ian Book being the 25th quarterback that lost in a row from that school, that in some ways being from Notre Dame as a quarterback with limitations is great because then you look great, but because you got an iron curtain in front of you, for lack of a better term, blocking scheme, because that's what they do there. They crank out awesome O-line, that it hinders the development of a young man on his way into the league. And really it's trial by fire, guys. And anyone who knows that's a grown-up, it's not an easy life. And really, this is part of a stepping stone of Tua's growth. I expect him to grow into something more. I always expected him to be more. But I just think that this team has made it pretty clear that it's going to be more somewhere else, because I don't see it's happening.
Like I said, if you go across, let's just start naming some quarterbacks. Like Flacco went to Delaware. Matt Ryan, Boston College.
Carson Wentz.
Let's start Carson Wentz. Yep. Okay, Pat Mahomes. He didn't go to Alabama.
He went Texas Tech.
Thank you. You start looking at the quarterbacks in this league. And most of the ones that went to the bigger schools don't work out. And the ones who actually had to make their team play up to the talent, they had to bring everybody up. They have a head start going into the league.
They know what it's like to play from behind. They know what it's like to have to do more to win a game.
So Fitzpatrick, say Fitzpatrick he stayed last year, Tua sat on the bench. Fitzpatrick still hit this year, Tua sat on the bench. Does that change?
Yeah, but this team wasn't going to wait like that. And I understand.
It's not about winning. It's about developing.
I understand the question, because that would have been the right thing to do. But we're a fan base that is sick of waiting, and we're a fan base that needs to know answers. And we wanted to see Tua. Everybody did. I think
if
it would have
been better.
If we played
Fitz every game last year, we would have made the playoffs. But it would have been the wrong play, because
it would have been the wrong play.
Got to get your
okay, but no. Tom Brady sat. Aaron Rodgers sat. Patrick Mahomes sat. I mean, all the greats right now, they sat
behind quarterbacks.
Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year, and Alex Smith was a game manager.
Yeah, but
Tom Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe.
He's been with that team bringing them to the playoffs every freaking year.
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, who I'll argue
Brett
till the day
Favre.
I die.
There's not a Brett Favre. And
yes, but he wasn't that good.
To the playoffs
Brett Favre was terrible when Rodgers got there.
Come on, it's Brett Favre. It doesn't matter. It's Brett Favre.
Brett Favre has just as many interceptions as he does touchdowns. He's never that good.
Who cares, man? I hate when people say that, because you know what kind of guy he is. He was chucking it, trying to win. It was fun to watch. I loved watching.
So is Dan Marino.
Yeah, but guess what? Dan Marino threw the ball so friggin' hard that if it wasn't going to you, you weren't catching it. That's just that's the facts. My point is that those were teams built differently. We blew it up. We needed to know. And granted, that would have been the right play, but that's not the team he got drafted to. That's not the organization he got drafted to. We're a starved fan base for some winning around here. And we wanted something to hope in. And we bought hope with Tua coming with this allure. And we all believed, and most of us still do believe, that he is going to be this guy at least one day. But it seems it's just not going to happen. And this team has given itself an out. That's kind of like what COVID did to the NFL. They're using it to they got a whole nother week of football out of it, guys. You know what I'm saying? They're going to expand the NFL. You take a bad situation, you grow and learn from it, and you get better in some way. And that's really it.
Well, you guys wrap it up, man. My phone's about to die, and I ain't got no charge out here.
That's all right, brother. Brandon, listen, before you go, guys, check out Brandon the Bookie with Big Kev on the betting show tomorrow. We haven't really set things into time. We will get a schedule. We will put out the episodes beforehand so people can know. Brandon, real quick, man, I got somebody on Facebook that is blowing me up. He's a Gators fan. I just was out there trying to share stuff. I don't know what the hell this guy's problem is, but what's up with your fan base, bro? This guy has probably messaged me 200 times.
Hey, they just as frustrated as
what is going on with your fan base, dude? Like, dude, chill out. I don't even want to say I don't want to start with us. All I did was just, send a link like I did everyone else. And he's over here. He's like, screw the Canes, pussy this, pussy that. I'm like, bro, chill out, man. Come on, bro. You want to catch me in the streets? We want to throw some hands? We could do that. But don't sit over here and try to big dog me online, bro. Don't try to big dog me.
That means you guys are legit. That means you're legit now.
Give me more haters.
Hey,
give me
Brandon,
more paper,
listen,
dog. I know
Brandon,
what time it is.
Listen to this question. I'm going to tune in and watch the show. Maybe you'll answer it on the show. Okay, so Greer gets 2 offensive linemen in the free agency, gets a linebacker, maybe finds another, decent wide receiver, and we roll with Tua. We make it to week 8 and we're 500. Are you upset because Rodgers went to another team, Wilson went to another team, and Watson went to another team that you didn't go after one of them? Or are you going to be behind Greer that we decided to stick it out with Tua even though he ended up not being good?
Well, listen, if they end up going with Tua,
I will throw my full support.
Listen, if it comes out, which is not going to happen, but if it comes out that Rodgers says, look, I wanted to come to the Dolphins, Greer said, no, thank you, I'm going to stick with Tua, then yeah, I'm going to be upset. But Rodgers is going to go wherever Rodgers goes. Nobody's going to dictate it. Wilson's going to go where Wilson goes. They're going to make that decisions on their own. And if we're just like with I wanted Burrow, we didn't have the chance. They didn't want to trade the pick.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that what if we have the chance and then they just decide they're going to roll with Tua and spend the money on other assets?
If we legitimately, it came down on your desk and you take the red pill or the blue pill and we take the wrong one, then yes, I will be upset. But I don't think that we're going to have that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be mad for trying either. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but we've been trying with Tua for 2 years.
I'm talking about trying to upgrade.
Trying to do something else. Yeah. Trying to do something else. And that's kind of the thing that at least this team does. At least we're not, not trying.
So
it's not lack thereof.
With the most
money.
I
got to go, guys.
Brandon, I'll see you, buddy. Yep. We'll see you on the cash and tickets tomorrow,
buddy. Later, man.
Later, Brandon. So, Cap, this is questions for you then. So,
thanks,
money not being, hey, appreciate you, K-Dot.
Really
appreciate that. So, money not being an issue. Say it comes out that we got underbid. We have the most money to spend. So we got underbid and they decided to roll with Tua.
Deshaun's not going to – I think it's kind of just if it can get worked out.
But no, even then, what if Philly offers all their picks and we get underbid? Are you going to be mad that we got underbid because
if we get underbid, if it's about underbidding, then yes, I'm going to be pissed because we got enough to buy what
anybody
they want.
Yeah.
Buy what they want. They can sell guys that are on their contracts coming up, young talent. Now, I don't want to see us fire sale a team and end up with the Texans with just Deshaun and nothing. That ain't okay with me too, man. That ain't all right.
Well, I don't think I mean, it's going to take 3 players, 3 picks.
We have what? We hold he pretty much has the no trade clause, so we hold that card. But as far as if it gets to a situation where where it's starting to become more of a rumor down here that the Texans don't want to trade him in the AFC, knowing that, Watson could pretty much walk scot-free into free agency if he chose to, at this point, not free agency wise, don't get me wrong, but they don't have to pick up the majority of the contract moving forward. Is that correct? Or is it already guaranteed?
I think right now they don't have to pick up any of it because it's guaranteed. They're going to be on the hook for I think 42 million or something like that, or 48 million. It's the second biggest contract in the NFL next year starting. So they're gonna move them because they're not going to eat damn near 50 million on their cap and ride them out on the bench. It's happening. It's just. Listen, if it doesn't happen, we're going to see something else happen here, guys, because then the NFL is going to get the real bad publicity then and they don't like that. Now you're going to see owners. I don't know. That could get real, real ugly because you're talking about guys with money, power, and then the NFL, which is just basically like a HOA for a bunch of billionaires. That would be an ugly circumstance. They're going to work this out. They've been working out. We all seen the commissioner up in that box with Ross back in the day. Wasn't that long ago. What was that, like 6-8 weeks ago, where he was up in the skybox watching the Dolphins get their asses whipped? Things are going on behind closed doors. We can only speculate.
The Colts game, yeah.
There's only speculation we can make as far as what's happening. but it's been very obvious who they want and who they're going for. And the talks probably have never stopped. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to stop until next year. And even when a trade does happen and Deshaun ends up here or somewhere else, and I don't know, even whenever trade does happen or doesn't, it will still be this shitstorm we find ourselves in, because if we're left with the same people.
This comment like 20 times tonight. Has nothing to do with preparation. Has to do with system as a whole. Trash systems in place produce consistent trash for 20 plus years. It's Big Kev, and that's on your point right now. If it doesn't change, it's because it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, but we've seen Chris Greer at least have the cojones to change stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Cap.
I think
you there, Cap?
Took off.
I'm just saying, like, what if the scenario plays out in Green Bay where they end up winning the Super Bowl? Then what?
They're still trading. Aaron Rodgers don't want to be there. Aaron Rodgers wins Super Bowl. It's a big FU to the Packers organization. It says, get me the hell out of here. And Devontae Adams has already said, I don't want to be there. He don't like Jordan Love. He's on record. I'll find this and I'll bring it up on my show. But Devontae Adams is on record saying Jordan Love ain't that good. So
we got what? 2 top 5 quarterbacks that are in a situation that's unprecedented right now.
Yep.
Where they call their shots if they wanted to, and possibly a third with Russell Wilson.
Yep.
With Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, this is an offseason unlike we've ever seen, because there are the potential 3 top 7 quarterbacks, I'd argue, that are going to be available. So
and not for nothing, but every one of these quarterbacks have their own camps, their own people, their own network. They're not billionaires, but they're millionaires, and they got money, and they got people, and they've got support groups, and they're going to be using the Dolphins name in every single thing. You already had an article earlier. They're going to drive their prices up. They're going to dangle the carrot for the Dolphins. Dolphins going to play their part. It's going to, listen, Dolphins say, you know what? We're not going to go with Deshaun no more. And Deshaun's going, I'm not going anywhere. Now you're going to have to pay me $50 million. Next thing you know, maybe the price works out. It's going to be an interesting offseason, guys. And as a guy who with a podcast, I'm going to be fun to watch and talk all about it. But it sucks as a Dolphins fan. I wish to God that this was not the circumstance we found ourselves in. I wish we would have won that game yesterday. I wish we'd be talking about beating the Patriots this week. I wish I was going to the Patriots game. I don't know. I might, I don't know. I had some complaints about the last game, but I'll keep that to myself for now. But I really want to have something to go for. This is the tailgate party. It never stops. Cap, you see me at the tailgate party, man. You see how I like to get down, how I'm trying to do it. And I want to make that a regular thing. And hopefully it could be a regular thing for a winning football team, man. Hopefully it's a regular thing for a winning football team, man. I'm not over here giving away hats, giving away stuff. Speaking of which, guys, we are giving away Madden game, in celebration of the life of John Madden, who passed, a great. We are giving away a Madden game. You're going to have to tune in to tomorrow's show on Brandon the Bookie with Big Kev. He's going to explain the rules and how you guys can get the Madden game, and we can just have it sent to you, or you can download the digital code. But we do give away plenty of good stuff around here. Ennis, he already picked one of the hats I'm giving away right here. I've got another one going to Gio. I got some other hats back here. I got a lot of football cards that I give away around here. Every opponent that we go against every week, I give away some of the opponent's cards. I've run low on my Dolphins cards, not low, just low on the ones that I'm going to let be given away. So there is a OJ McDuffie that I plan to give away around here sometime. So I will give that card away. But Mike, why don't you go ahead and let them know about the Drop the Mic show? You're going to be on Wednesday with Tonk. Why don't you go ahead and let them know
so
the fantasy, the stuff that you guys plan to do, go and talk about and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I lost. I didn't just lose. I got absolutely demolished by my wife.
Bro.
Like my wife, I'm embarrassed to play fantasy football. But at the same time, I'm really proud because, I taught her. And so maybe I'm a good teacher because she did beat me. But I got embarrassed. She beat me by 70 points. It's just ugly. I lost
by 45 points in my fantasy league.
I finished second in all 3 of my season-long leagues. But I'm doing all right in my dynasty leagues. But then I'm going to be talking. I'm also going to bring up kind of a subject that I'm kind of excited to talk about, not because it's to bring light to the situation, but it's going to be mental health. And I really want to focus on the whole AB incident and what happened to him and all the backlash he's going to get and all the people that are going to be tarnishing his name. And I just want to talk about how we don't ever know what's going on in another person's head, and that, compassion and love for him
taught us
instead of hating
anything,
on him.
man.
So I really will focus. I really am going to focus on mental health on Wednesday, and then I'm going to do. It'll be fun. We're probably going to get into a little bit. I do want to mention, just to get everybody the taste for baseball, I'm going to bring up a little bit of the situation of what's going on right now. If there's any new rumors from the CBA, collective bargaining agreement negotiations from the Players Association or MLB. But Wednesday's going to be a good show. Me and Tonk are going to have it rolling. I've got my new setup, guys. I did this just for y'all. My wife let me have a whole wall in the middle of the house so everybody gets to see it when they come over. But, dude, we're so happy to be here for Miami Dolphins fans. We're happy for Miami sports fans. Cap, I love that you keep joining us, man. It's so much fun. I just hope you'll be watching Wednesday and join us in, and feel free to jump in.
Man.
And
yeah, man.
Guys,
Mike, Chris, man, you guys are doing it, man. It's like I said, man, it's a good thing when we inspire growth throughout the community. We're gonna have our hiccups here and there, man. But I've always said, man, that it's always gonna be a divide, but it's never gonna conquer us, man. It's one thing that I've always lived by, man. And yeah, man, I appreciate your time, man. And whatever you guys need, man, you guys have my support. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. And my phone's about to crap out, man. But love you guys, man. Have a good night, man. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Stay in contact, Cap. You know what it is, brother.
Yeah, man. Have a good night, guys.
You too,
later,
man.
bro.
So yeah, guys.
Well, hell of a show, Chris.
It was a good show, man. It didn't.
I'm gonna give a shout out real quick. I'm gonna let you close it up. But Jonathan Whidden, he liked our video on Facebook. Just want to give him a shout out.
Oh man, that's great, man. That's awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, for liking, subscribing. If you're watching on Twitch or Twitter or Facebook, these videos go out, guys. We really need subscribers on YouTube. That's where the whole base of Hubble it is. I like to put it out on all the platforms because, I want everyone to see. We want everyone to enjoy it. We're putting out all kinds of different content. As you guys hear, we got some baseball stuff. I'm working on a couple things with the hockey. I got a soccer guy coming through here sometime soon. We're trying to grow. We're trying to diversify. We center our stuff around the Dolphins because that's where we all connect our hearts, man. We all are there with the hearts, with the Dolphins and other South Florida teams as well. I'm a diehard Heat, diehard everything. Not like I am with the Dolphins, I will admit, but we're going to do everything I can and we can, and Mike and Brandon and Kev and a lot of us Tonk. We're going to do everything we can to try and provide great content. And this is a tailgate party that never stops, guys. It's meant to have you guys here. So get in the comments. You see, we shout you guys out. We want to have a good time, man.
We only 10 away from 100, boy.
Yeah, that's right.
90
man.
subscribers on YouTube. Who's going to get us to 100? Somebody listening.
Man, that would be great, guys. If we could hit 100 before your show on Wednesday, or even luckily before the show tomorrow with Brandon the Bookie and Big Kev, that would be amazing, guys. But we are grateful for everyone who watches. We're very humbled by the fact that a bunch of dumbasses that love football with just a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of charm and stuff like that.
Yeah, halfway across the country.
Yeah, man, we're all spread out too. I mean, you're in Texas, I'm in Florida.
Thompson, Washington.
Washington. We got my boy Kadeem drops in. He's in the UK, and that's good to know that the Dolphins fandom is still strong, even with all the freaking rhetoric we got to deal with right now. But that's okay. All right, guys, we're gonna close this down. Thank you, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Come back tomorrow to watch the Brandon the Bookie show with Cash and Tickets. Learn how you guys can get the Madden game. There's always going to be stuff given away, and sometimes we have different types of prizes. And catch us on the flip side, guys. Man, thank you. God bless.